Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you again for coming out today. We're going to be talking about real estate. I'm going to focus primarily today on purchasing a home for the first time, purchasing your own personal residence. If we have a little time at the end, we can get into some of the other possibilities of investment real estate, but want to make sure that everybody can at least understand making this very, very important step in terms of buying a home. Perhaps an unlikely dream for many in this area right now, but on the other hand, many of you are going to land in some very, very good companies and they're going to go public, and you're going to get a good salary from them, and so I have been very, very fortunate to own my own home for quite a while, and it's just a good feeling that I have from being able to own a home. So I welcome today representatives from the Stanford Federal Credit Union, Janine Henson, who has been very, very helpful to this program, and in many ways the credit union has been a sponsor of the financial literacy program, and they'd love to talk to you anytime you have any needs there. And Howard Yee, who is who's the last person here to loan me some money. I went over to Howard and I asked him if I could borrow some money. And he smiled and he said, "Sure." and actually, this was one of the loan. I'll tell you from now that the loan process, the going and get a loan, can be very, very stressful. I remember the first one I purchased when I just was married, and this was the first time, and everything was like, oh, what happens if I don't make it? What happens if they don't deliver? And this and that, and I'm going to lose this home that I just shown my new bride this beautiful home that we're about to buy and everything else, and I was I was the guy that had to go out and do everything to make this happen. And I didn't want to blow it. Anyway, Howard takes all of that stress out of it, and he'll explain a little bit later. He's going to be speaking to you about the loan process and qualifying and all of those kinds of things as we go along. But their delivery process there was extremely non-stressful and right on time, met my needs perfectly. So, and also, as a Stanford alum and as a member of the credit union, I was given a little bit of a favorable situation on closing costs. So you'll hear about all that as we go along. So I kind of like to start this with a couple of myths that I keep hearing, and I don't know, maybe other myths, things that you've heard about real estate. A couple of things that I've heard about real estate before I got into it was, this was the absolute easiest way in the world to make a whole lot of money, that's all that it took was you just invested in the real estate, and 5 years later, 10 years later, you'd have a huge stack of money from what you've invested in, because all you hear are these very, very great success stories in this business. I mean, even a president, right, has all of his billions and billions, a lot of them have been made, in the real estate market. But when you get out there and do it yourself, it's not that easy. There are lots of problems that you have to face. Most important problem you face is staying liquid, being able to meet your debt payment every month. Because if you don't meet your debt payment, you end up potentially losing your property. If your debt payment is supported by folks that are living in the property, tenants, got to keep those tenants in there, and they've got to be happy. And tenants can be picky at times. This is not working. That's not working. Oh my God, I've got problems that I have to deal with. Getting financing is not always a walk in the park, especially the first time that you do it. And so there are lots of these things, and yes, you can lose money in real estate. I've lost a couple of the deals I've been involved in. I lost money. I've found, and there's a reason for it. The shorter the term of your investment, just as it is, I guess, with the stock market, the shorter the term of your investment, the more risk there is of losing. Whereas a longer term, if you are in a position to hold the real estate for 10 years or more, there's a good chance then that you are going to make money at it. So just that was just a way of saying, real estate, try to dispel some of the rumors that are out there, and just have eyes open. Yes, you can do well in it. I know a client who just keeps turning it, but every time he does, he's working hard at it. He's lining up contractors. He's paying attention to the details in order to succeed in what he's doing. And the more experience you have, obviously the better off you're going to be.